Okay, items used in today's oil change. Seafoam. This is optional. I just used it, but you don't have to use it. I tried to clean out my engine a little bit. I don't think it succeeded because maybe my engine was as dirty. It wasn't as dirty as I thought. But I used this on this oil change, but this is definitely optional. It's not a necessary. To do the oil change though, oil of course. Make sure you have the correct viscosity for your car. MDX 2014 plus. It's OW-20. Oil filter. I use this Mobile One M1-1110. No, 110, sorry. M1-110. You're gonna need some napkins. This here, crush washers for the drain plug. Then we have a socket wrench, a breaker bar. You're gonna need some rubber gloves. 17mm socket. Oil pan. Funnel. Alright, honorable mentions that are not on display. Oh, wait a minute, this is on display. This is where, this is an oil jug that I use to catch my waste oil in that I'm going to dump out. So you might need one of those, or you can use the empty one of these whenever you get it. Well, honorable mentions that I don't have on display. I always put my filter on hand tight, but that doesn't mean it's going to come off with my hand. It might be harder for you, but you might want to use a oil filter ratchet to get the oil filter off. Those can be hard to get off sometimes. And also, I'm gonna mention a torque wrench. I'm not gonna use one today because I'm happy with torquing it down to snug. But a torque wrench will get you, and for my particular car, it's gonna be 29 foot-pounds. So you might want to use a torque wrench. All right, that's it. YouTube, what's up? Brooklyn Bionic here again. Another quick DIY video. Well, I'm going to be doing this video. I'm going to be covering the oil change. I'm going to do the oil change today because I got something special. I'm going to be adding the seafoam stuff to my crankcase, which is the engine oil, just before I do my oil change. Now, I don't really like adding additives and all that stuff to my car, but like I said, I'm the second person to own this car, and I ain't get a real fix on what's going on with it. And I heard good stuff about the seafoam. You put it in your car, in the engine, in the oil, just before you do an oil change, and it's supposed to clean the lifters, actuators, control rings, oil passageways. Oh man, yes, it's a windy day out here today. Let me get that back out here. Ugh. Yeah, this ain't gonna stay here. It's very windy out here today. Yeah, where was I? Yeah. And he said when you put the stuff in your oil, it doesn't change the viscosity, which means it doesn't change the thickness of the oil, or doesn't make it thinner or thicker. So they say. So I heard good things, so I'm just gonna try it out. They say they don't harm the engine, so why not? So the reason I'm putting this thing in here, because like I said, I'm the second owner of this car. I don't know what's going on. My oil's been coming out kind of dirty. I mean, I change it when I'm supposed to, but they said it's supposed to dissolve and liquefy oil deposits and sludge. So that's the real reason I'm putting it. I'm trying to clean out the engine a little bit. As you can see, I already measured it out. They say you can put 1 ounce of this to every quart of oil that's in your car. And my car takes 5.7 quarts, so that's about 5.5 ounces right there in that cup. But I'm cool with that. Oh man, it's windy out here. If you need to know today's date, it's the Sunday before Thanksgiving 2017. I think it's the 20th, November 20th, 2017. So today I'm just going to be adding this to the crankcase, the oil. Oddly enough, on this thing, it doesn't tell you how long to drive, but I had to go online and look while it was windy. I had to go online and look, and it says you can drive between 100 and 200 miles before you change the oil. So I'm going to put it in this week, and weather permit next week. Hopefully the weather's nice and I can come out and change the oil. I drive about maybe 100, 150 miles in a week anyway, so it's going to be perfect. Hopefully I ain't gotta drive the 2 weeks, because I don't want to leave this in my car that long. But it's windy out here, so let's get this going. You know what? First thing I want to do, I want to see how bad the oil is now. I want to see how because supposedly this dissolves sludge and deposits and all that. So when you put this in and then change your oil is supposed to be a lot dirtier and darker than normal, because of all the stuff it broke down and it dissolved in the oil. So let me try to do this with one hand. Let me see how dirty our oil is and compare it to when. I don't know if you can see that. I'm gonna try to get a before and after shot. Oh, this is a before. So I mean, that's really dirty right now. I don't see it getting much dirtier than that, but it's supposed to be really dirty after I put the seafoam in and drive around for about 100 miles. So we'll see what happens with that. We got another reading. Let me put the camera down. I think I have a napkin in my pocket. Maybe you can see that better, but this is before seafoam. Let me put it on a napkin and get you another view of that. All right, here's another shot of the before we put seafoam in. I don't know if this is gonna help you in anything anyway, but we just show it to you anyway. All right, let's put the stuff into the crankcase. Ah! Yo, it's really windy out here. I'm surprised that didn't tip over yet. I want to hurry up and put it in before it happens. Okay. Funnel is in place. Now we pull. This is about 5.5 ounces to be exact. It's not the full 5.7 ounces that I should have put in. Whoa. Look at that. Paper's gone. It's tipped over. It's a really windy day. Winter is here. It's not coming anymore. Winter is here. Brooklyn, New York. All right, people. So see you in about 100 miles or next week. Bing, bang, boom. And just like that, we're back. Saturday, oh shit, I never know the date. The Saturday after Thanksgiving, almost a week later, maybe about 150 miles after seafoam, we're back to do this oil change. The day's not as windy. It's about 57 degrees here in Brooklyn, New York. So we're lucky for that. Last time I was here, all this paper was blowing away, this and that. Anyway, let's get to it. So seafoam, we're gonna check the dipstick first, just to see how dirty or darker the oil is looking compared to last week. I'm gonna try to do that with one hand. Bear with me. Now, give me some more oil, man. Give me some more oil. Come on. Actually, the car's been sitting overnight. This time I haven't driven it, so all our oil is probably settled to the bottom. I gotta say, man, I don't see much of a difference here. Or maybe my oil just wasn't that filthy after all. Maybe maybe the seafoam didn't have anything to dissolve. Who knows? But that's what we're looking like. I got a napkin in my pocket. Let me get that out and give you another idea what it's looking like. By the way, people, I just decided about 5-10 minutes ago that I'm only gonna change my oil twice a year, man. I figured my weak ass driving habits, which is 8,000, maybe 9,000 miles max per year, I'm only gonna change the shit twice a year, and that's Memorial Day and Thanksgiving weekend. Memorial weekend and Thanksgiving weekend is when I'm gonna change my oil. I'm using Mobil 1 full synthetic, the extended performance, and that's supposed to give me 15,000 miles on each go around. So I think I'll be alright. So twice a year, people. Give me a sec. Let me get my napkin out. I think I'm gonna have to cut you off for a sec. Be right back. All right. Here we go with the napkin. It's a better view. I mean, to me, it looks exactly like it did last week. I don't see any difference. Maybe I didn't put enough seafoam. I don't know, but that was just a test. Just a test. Anyway, I'm just seeing that. Let's get to the oil change. All right, this is a 2014 Acura MDX. I'm sure this oil change is exactly the same on the 14 all the way back to the 17, which is a third generation MDX. I'm not sure about the 18. Maybe it's gonna. I'm assuming it will be somewhere in the same. But it's gonna be exactly the same for 2014 back to 2017. All right, this car takes exactly 5.7 quarts. I like to just put it down somewhere so I don't forget. I'm getting older now, so you know, things slip my mind. Always write that down. So it's 5.7 quarts exactly. Okay. Now today, my car is on, I got it on jack stands, but by no means is it necessary to put your car on jack stands to do oil change. You don't even have to jack it up. As a matter of fact, I've done it a few times without even jacking it or doing anything. The only thing you must do though is turn the steering wheel to hard right. You want to turn the steering wheel to hard right so you have access to the filter. The way you can access this wheel here is turned all the way to the right. So that's probably the only thing you have to do for an oil change on this car. You don't have to jack it up at all. Another thing I like to do, of course, I know it might seem silly to some people, I like to take out the dipstick and make sure you have access to fill in the oil. I know it sounds simple, it's the engine oil, and yeah, you always have access, but you never know, man. You might come here, you might drain the oil out, then come here to put oil in, and you can't open that. And besides having access, I like to have air flowing down into the system so that the fluid comes out better on the bottom. So those are the first things to do. Now you just go underneath the car. Let me show you where the drain port is. Hard to miss. It even says engine oil here. It's very hard to miss. Acura's telling you to change your own oil by putting that label. This is a drain plug here. I believe that's a 17 millimeter. We're gonna open that up and get this oil out of here. Now, normally, I like to drive my car a little bit, like just before I do the oil change, just so the oil can be nice and warm and flow nice and, you know, have some fluent flow on it. But today, since I put the seafoam in there, and it's supposed to be a whole bunch of gunk and junk, all kind of dissolved deposits in there, I figure I let it sit overnight and let all the oil settle to the bottom of the oil pan, so I can get all. I'm trying to get the most gunk out of it as possible. So I didn't drive it today at all. I just let it sit overnight. So the oil is cold, but hopefully everything sat so it could sink to the bottom of the oil pan, so that when I open this, I can get all the gunk out, as most gunk out as possible. Think that's a good idea, guys? I do too. All right. Notice you can see the filter from here too, but it's kind of hard to get your hand in there and turn it. So although you can see it from here, it's easier to access it standing up from the wheel well on the passenger side. All right, so let's get to it. Oh, by the way, people who are watching this video just for the oil change, just omit the seafoam part. That was just a test I was doing. It's still gonna be the same oil change for all MDXs. Well, most cars, I mean, most cars are generally the same thing, but it's gonna be exactly for 2014 MDX all the way up to 2017. Maybe even 18 and more, who knows. All right, let's get to it. All right. So I got my trusty breaker bar. This is not a socket, it's a regular breaker bar with my 17 millimeter socket. So we're gonna break this. Remember, left is loose, right is tight. Lefty loosey, righty tighty. Easy to remember that. that brake? Oh, damn, it broke already. Look at that. Beautiful. Always like using the breaker bar to break these things, because one thing, the threads on this car, once you break it loose, you can easily just turn it up with your hands. It's very easy to turn. So far, the whole car, everything I've broken loose has been like that. So that's a good thing. I'm only going to use a socket if I have to. I do have a socket on standby. All right. See, let's loosen this out now and get to it. Like I said, this oil is going to be cool, but it's going to be really dirty coming out of this because I let it sit overnight. If I have to let it sit for an hour, I'll do that. I don't care. I have the time. So I'm going to put positive pressure on it, meaning I'm pushing in on it while I'm turning it out. All right. Not yet, not yet. Okay, I think I got it. Positive pressure. I'm pushing it in. Okay, the oil is coming out. 3, 2, 1. Oil. 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 Let me get a sample of that. Might want to do a taste test later. Might want to do a taste test later. You never know. And of course, this didn't fall. I did a good job this time. The only thing that did fall was the crush washer. That's garbage anyway. I'm going to change it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do that right now. Here's my new crush washer. Let me wipe this off a little bit first. What up, baby? So as I take this drain bolt out, I'm adding the new crush washer. And I'm just gonna put this drain bolt aside so I don't forget that. I mean, it's looking dirty. Nothing I haven't seen. But I'm gonna let that drain out as much as possible. I don't want to see not even one drip. So like I said, if I have to sit here for half an hour, half to an hour, I'll do that. I don't mind. And like I said, you don't have to jack this car up or put it on jack stands to do an oil change. And I'm saying that I'm not a lightweight. I got some heft to me. And I do it plenty of times without jacking up. The only reason I put it on jack stands is so that I can get some better camera angles for you guys. But you really don't have to jack it up. This is right close to the front. I'm halfway under the car right now. I'm not even fully under the car to do this. My waist is actually out. Torso and up, I'm under the car. Very easy. Yes, check it out. I got bored waiting for that oil to drain, so I figure since I had time on my hands, I figured we'd do a taste test. Yes, I'm bored. Old versus new. I don't have to tell you which is which, I'm assuming, right? New oil. Old oil. I gotta tell you, as I'm mixing it, the viscosity just saying it doesn't feel like it's a different thickness at all. I would assume the older oil, the old dirty oil would have been a lot thinner. But no. I mean, apart from it being dark and disgusting, you can't even see the spoon inside of it. It's actually the same, it feels like the same weight. Maybe even a little dirty, maybe a little heavier, I don't know. It's definitely a lot dirtier. Let me see something, let me try to... Oh, now my cat wants to participate. Get out of here, buddy. We don't need you right now. Beat it. Yeah. The only difference here is the color of the oil. This is dark and disgusting, and this is new. But I gotta tell you, it feels like it might be the same weight. Like the viscosity hasn't changed. Not that I'm some kind of chemist, but just from touch and feel. As a matter of fact, let me touch it. I want to touch it. I want to touch it with my bare hands. All right. Now let me hold the camera with this hand while I gotta tell you, it feels the same, man. They're just different in the looks department right now. By the way, this oil has about maybe 3,800 miles in it. 3,850 miles, maybe a little bit more, maybe 60 or 70 miles. Plus, I put the seafoam in it 150 miles ago. So, there you go, compared to new oil. Anyway, let's get back to it. Okay, guys, back at it. I got my 17mm on a socket now. Took it off of the breaker bar. Now we're gonna tighten it. Remember, right is tight. Now, let me wipe this down a little bit. This has been dripping for about maybe half an hour now, maybe even a little bit longer. There's a small, slight drip, like every 30 seconds. Man, that's good enough for me. Look at that. As I said that, it drips. Trying to make me look stupid, huh? That's fine. I'm happy with where it's at right now. Now we're just gonna put this, remember, you gotta put your washer back on. I forgot the size of this in the part number, but of course I'll put it in the description and or on the screen. I'm gonna do it hand tight first, of course. You don't want to use any tools just to get it back in there. Should be a nice smooth motion. Only time I'm gonna use the socket is when I'm actually tightening it. And right now it's hand tight, can't go anymore. If you must know, the torque specs for this is 29 foot-pounds. Of course, I'm just gonna use the socket. Tight to snug is good enough for me. But if you want to be technical and scientific about it, 29 foot-pounds, use a torque wrench. All right, right is tight. Shit, that was probably more than 29 foot-pounds, but I know it ain't coming off. All right, that's that. Okay, guys, on to the next order of business here. Okay, we're gonna access the filter from the passenger side front wheel. Like I said, make sure you turn that right so you have all the space here. And this is the filter. Remember, right is tight, left is loose, so we're gonna turn that filter counterclockwise to get it loose. Now, I don't know what this crossbar is right here, but that's gonna get drenched in oil. There's nothing you can do about that, so get ready for that. All you can do is position your oil pan underneath it, but that is gonna get drenched. Don't worry about it. Now, I'm gonna do this. I can't get the camera in there while I'm doing it, so I'm gonna position the camera from the other side where we sorted for the filter earlier when I was taking out the drain plug. I can't maneuver the camera and, oh, you know what? Maybe I can. Maybe I can. Let's give it a try first. Oh man, I don't have any gloves on. I'm gonna need some gloves. I'll be right back, but I'll try to do it from here. Give me a sec. Okay guys, had to go put some grip on. Regular hands wasn't making it, although I did put this thing on hand tight. I didn't use a tool to do it. So let's get into it. Counterclockwise, left is loose. It's done already. Not too bad. All right. Remember what I said, that crossbar down there is gonna get drenched, but there's nothing you can do about it. Let's open it up and prepare to be swabbed. Ew. Yes, and you're definitely gonna wanna have gloves on when you're doing this. You're definitely gonna wanna have gloves on when you're doing this. All right, let's keep going. This thing is slippery. All right, there we go. There we go. Turn this over in the oil pan. Good to go for now. All right, not too bad. We'll let that drain out a little bit. All right, now that we got the filter off and we let the oil drip out of there, I left that for about, it was less than the drain plug, maybe about 5 minutes. You want to wipe this down as best as possible because that's going to get drenched in oil, like I said. But most of all, you want to inspect the filter housing up here. You want to wipe this off, right? But the most important thing about this, the oil filter has a seal on the top of it. So when you screw it in, the seal seals up against this. Sometimes when you take the filter off, the seal stays on this rim. You have to make sure that seal comes off with your old filter. And if it's not, if it's stuck here, you just have to peel it off. Because if that seal stays there, and then you get your new oil filter and you put it on, with the two seals, it won't seal right. You'll make a mess. I mean, you start the engine and oil just starts spraying everywhere. So make sure the seal on your old filter comes out and this is clear. All right. All right. Next order of business, we're gonna screw the the new filter on. Be right back. All right, guys. This is the new filter I'm gonna be using. Mobile 1 Extended Performance. I use the same oil, and I guess they have I didn't even know they had a filter. I didn't know what I was using. M1-110 for the 2014 MDX. Yeah, it's a tiny filter. I don't know why. Anyway, I figure I'll prepare the filter in here rather than it's noisy outside. It's better in here. All right, this is the seal I was talking about. You see the seal? Sometimes you take this off the car and it stays on the rim of the filter housing. So always make sure this comes out. Another thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pour oil. You don't have to do this. You don't have to pour oil inside the filter like I'm doing. But I just want to get it nice and nasty so that what I do want to do, this seal here is dry right now. You can put this on your car, but it won't seal as good as opposed to if the seal was actually wet. So you always want to put some oil on the seal right here. I do it for two main reasons. One, it seals better, of course, like I just said. Let me put a little bit more. I want it a little bit more sloppy. It seals better as opposed to a dry seal. And two, always hand tight these. I don't use a tool to tighten them. So when I'm in 6 months from now, when I'm ready to take this filter off, it's going to come off easier than if you didn't have this thing moist with oil. So you always want to make sure this is moist. Always. Now, some people fill this thing up. You can if you want to. It doesn't make much of a difference. But on my particular car, this doesn't go in. You see, it kind of comes off on an angle, so you don't want to fill this up with oil right now. Now, if you had a car where it went straight up and down, you can fill that up as much as you want. But because mine comes off at an angle, it's only filled like about halfway right now. I'll just leave it at that. And this is something you don't have to do, but you must. I repeat, you must. You should. No, you must and should lubricate this new seal around the new filter. Always. All right? All right, let's go get this thing on the car. Okay, guys. Ready to install the new filter on the filter housing. Make sure no seal is there. It's gonna be tough because I gotta hold the camera and well, don't look that hard. Remember, right is tight, so now we turn in counterclockwise. Huh, wasn't too bad. I'm only gonna do this hand tight. I'm gonna go as tight as I can with my hand though. Beast mode. On good. Now just tighten it. Just tighten it. You want that seal to be moist. It seals better when it's moist. Yes. Yes. Okay. I think I'm good to go. Good to go. We're almost done here. All we gotta do, yeah, that's looking nasty. And that's after it's been wiped down. Don't worry about that. Oil can be good for some of these things. They get rusty in the winter with the salt. I don't know where you live, but in New York, it's got a lot of salt kicking up on the road and everything. So that oil there would probably be good for that component. All right. Now all we have to do is add the oil. 5.7 quarts. And of course, I'm going to get rid of our waste oil. This is how I usually do it. Ooh. Ooh. I usually keep a 5-gallon water bottle around. Empty one. Oh, that was a leaf. And I wait till it gets full and either carry it to AutoZone or something like that. Just to drop it off. You know, I'm trying to save the earth. The whales are next. I got this. I'm fully focused. That's the reason we have fucking 60-degree days Thanksgiving in New York. Because people don't get rid of their waste oil the right way. That's what happens. Good to go. Oh, look, there's the crush washer. All right. There we have it. Okay, YouTube. If you're wondering why it's so bright out here and it's so windy, it's because it's actually another day now. See, after putting that filter on yesterday, I got a phone call, and it took way longer than I thought it would. By the time I came back out here to finish the job, darkness had already taken over. So I had to take the car for jack stands and scrap that project, at least for a day. So this oil change is officially taking me about 24 hours. It's a damn shame. Anyway, we're back out here. As you can see, this is gonna be the oil I'm putting in my car. The extended Mode 1 full synthetic, extended performance, 15,000 miles, which I'm only gonna be changing twice a year. And I only use about 8,000 or 9,000 miles, so this is like overkill for me, changing my oil twice a year with this particular oil. And for my particular vehicle, it's 0 weight 20. If you're watching this video just doing oil change for any vehicle, make sure you know the correct viscosity for your car. All right. As always, I'm gonna take this out, the dipstick. And we're gonna take out the oil cap. If you don't know the correct viscosity for your car, most of the time it's always on the oil cap. See, mine is 0W20. 0W, I think that W stands for weight, so 0 weight 20. And if you're not sure yours, you can see the owner's manual. See, just like it's telling you. And we take in 5.7 quarts. So this whole thing is a 5-quart jug, and that's the change. So 5.7. All right, let's get to pouring. All right, guys, just set up filter inside the engine oil. Let's get to pouring. You know, make sure that filter is in the hole. Make sure when you're pouring, it's going inside the engine and not everywhere else. First and foremost. Mine is good, mine is going in. So all I have to do is worry about pouring right now. Boy, it's really a windy day, boys. Really a different day than yesterday. It's almost like last Sunday when I initially started with the seafoam. Sundays are exactly the same. It's like 40 degrees now in Brooklyn. Yesterday was almost 60. I'm telling you, almost 60 in Thanksgiving weekend. That's crazy. Guess you could blame global warming for that, I guess. Alright, this is almost done. I'm just gonna pour this whole jug in here. This is the 5 quart of the 5.7 quarts I need. So there's no measuring with this first one. We're just pouring. We just pouring. Alright, this one's done. Left my baby overnight with no juice in it. It's just been sitting all night with no oil in it. Not that it's doing any harm. Once you're not starting up the engine, you're good. Alright. Now we're going for the 0.7. I'm going to eyeball this. This is about a quart, so we're going to look for maybe about right here. We'll stop it and then check it. By the way, this is the change. Anytime I'm doing an oil change, like when I did my first oil change for this car, I bought 2 quarts, 2 5-gallon jugs. And I initially bought this, the advanced fuel economy, which I'm mixing with the extended performance. Doesn't make a difference. But this one I use as a throwaway, as the 0.7. For every oil change I have, I'm going to take 0.7 out of this jug and just use a complete jug. You know, 5 quarts. So we're eyeballing this till about the 0.7. A little bit more. A little bit more. We'll stop there and check it. Should actually let this settle for about 5 minutes before I check it, so I can get a more accurate reading. As a matter of fact, I think I'll do that. We'll put this dipstick in about 5 minutes. Okay guys, it's been about 5 minutes. Let's check this dipstick. See if we got the correct level in there. There's my napkin. Clean this off really good. Dip in, out. I don't know if the camera's gonna pick that up. Oh, it's nice clean oil in there. Our readings, but I'm gonna put my finger there because the oil is so clean. I don't think the camera's gonna pick it up, but it's right below. It's in the middle, right below the top mark here. Your goal is to get it in that shaded area. You're not gonna be able to see it here because the oil is so clean, but mine is right below. When I took it out, it was right below the top mark. This is the top mark. This is the lower mark. But to get a real accurate reading, I'm gonna drive the car around. Actually, let it sit overnight and check it in the morning. I don't believe in this reading right here, but I believe it's somewhere around the correct mark. So we'll leave that alone for now. Alright guys, that's enough. See you inside the car. I'll show you how to reset the oil light, or the maintenance minder as they call it. Okay guys, now that you added fresh oil to your car, you need to come in here and do the oil reset. Now the oil reset is the oil life on the car. Mine says 40%, but it's not accurate. I think one of my kids came in there and was messing with it, and they changed it before it was supposed to be changed. But I don't really watch my maintenance mine anymore as far as the oil life, because I'm only changing it twice a year. I'm only doing it Memorial weekend and Thanksgiving weekend. And I drive only about 10,000 miles a year, less even. I don't think I drive more than 9,000 miles for the year. And I'm using this Mobile One Extended, which gives me 15,000 miles. So at most, I'm using 4,500 miles on 15,000 mile oil. So I only change it twice a year, and I don't really watch the maintenance light. But for you guys who want to know how to reset it, it's on the steering wheel here. First of all, make sure everything is right side up. I'm gonna do this so it's easier for you guys. Make sure the Acura logo is up. All the words are right side up. Source is on the left, trip is on the right. This is the scroll wheel we're gonna be concentrating on. You can scroll up with it, you can scroll down, and you can push it in to enter. So you can scroll up, scroll down, push it in to enter. All right. Now as far as the display, we want to scroll. Oh, my tire pressure is kind of low. By the way, guys, that tire pressure, mine is saying 33 each wheel now. Your tire's supposed to be 35 before you even move off. Like, that's the cold pressure. The cold pressure is 35. You might notice as you're driving, it goes up and up. But it's cold outside now, so the temperature, the lower the temperature, it drops the tire pressure for some reason. But that's supposed to be 35 before you even drive off. So right now I need a 2 psi on each tire. Anyway, back to the maintenance thing. This is what we want to get to. We want to scroll, and you'll get to vehicle settings. Then you push in on the scroll wheel, which is enter. Then you want to scroll. I notice it's faster. We want to scroll up. You want to scroll up to get the maintenance info. If you scroll up, you get to the maintenance info a lot faster, and that's what we want. So we get to maintenance info, and we're pressing enter on the scroll wheel, pushing it in. Maintenance reset. You notice it starts off on cancel. Then you want to scroll to reset. Cancel, reset. Cancel, reset. You scroll to reset, and then you want to push in on the jog wheel. Press enter. Reset completed. You just resetted it. So let's go to the oil info now. Remember, mine was at 40%. Let's exit out of this. Vehicle settings again. Should say 100%. Let's go. There we go. Oil life, 100%. Easy peasy. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this video. And by the way, after you sit in the car and you turn it on and you let it run for a minute, get back outside, look underneath, make sure everything is buttoned up, make sure you don't have any leaks. And like I said, I'm gonna check my my dipstick tomorrow morning. I'm gonna let this car sit overnight, and when I wake up, I'm gonna check the dipstick. That's how you get an accurate reading. I believe it's right, but I won't know until tomorrow. Alright guys, enjoy. BK Bionic out.